real estate agents. Welcome to the Weekly Closer. I'm your host, Jeff Underwood, along with my co-host, Joey Sampaga. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing all right, Jeff. How are you, man?
Good. Hey, I'm excited about the show. We haven't had somebody on lately that really has a focus and a heart for first-time home buyers and that education process.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So we're going to jump right into it. We've got Adam Martin, founder of IPA Home Group, brokered by eXp Realty. And I think Alex Roberts and Sarah Zoccolo with Security Title got you in here, right?
Yeah, that is correct. They've been bugging me for a while to do this.
Yeah, they're awesome, aren't they?
They are fantastic.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Adam, why don't you first start off real quick, just how long you've been in real estate and what got you into the business?
Been in real estate for about 4 years now. Got into it. It's always been a passion of mine, something I've always been interested in, and moved down to Arizona about 7 years ago. And when I decided it was a permanent move, I said, that's it. I'm getting into it. Getting into real estate. Had a couple people pushing me, and dove right in, and I haven't looked back since.
Oh, that's great. And so now you're starting kind of a team, or you've started a team.
Yes.
IPA Home Group, right?
That is correct.
And I like the story behind it. So you want to share with the agents that are watching, listening, the whole IPA part of it?
Yeah, the IPA Home Group. So my business partner and I, we spent a couple months trying to figure out a team name. And we were actually having lunch with a beer. And it just kind of clicked with me. I was like, oh, I got it. The three pillars of our team is integrity, professionalism, and advocacy.
Oh, nice.
And I thought, there we go, IPA. We get to tie in two of our favorite things.
Perfect.
The beer and the pillars into the title. Plus, with me, I just thought that's a great conversation starter.
Absolutely.
I mean, what is real estate? Real estate, it starts with conversations.
Absolutely, yeah. So do you have a favorite IPA?
Oh, yes, I do. Wanderlust by Breakside Brewing, but that's up in Portland, Oregon.
All right. Awesome. Well, let's get into how you are helping educate and helping first-time home buyers in any market, but especially with what we're seeing in 2023 here.
Well, you said the right word, though. It's educate. That's more so what our job as realtors is regardless. People don't understand how the real estate market works, how the process goes, how detailed and how many steps there really are. They're like, oh, okay, I'm going to buy a house.
Yeah.
And they think, cool, I'll just do that. I'll pull out the, back in the day phone book, find somebody who does it, and we'll be good to go. They don't understand that the process is long, tedious, detailed. There's certain times that certain things have to happen.
Yeah.
And when they talk to an agent who's just like, oh, great, I got a client, I'm going to get them into a home, there's no relationship, there's no camaraderie, there's no teacher and student through the process. It's just do what I say when I say it and you're good to go. But I don't believe that that's an accurate way to navigate anybody, whether they're first-time home buyer, second-time home buyer, so on and so forth. There's always something going on in the real estate market that has to be taught. And it would be like me going into I like to use the investment strategy, wanting to invest my money for my retirement and automatically knowing everything that I need to do.
Yes.
Real estate's the same way. If you're going in to purchase real estate, you don't know everything that needs to be done or how it needs to be done. And so I think that actually shies away a lot of people from getting into home ownership. And that's what I want to take all these first-time home buyers especially, is educate them, teach them, let them learn that the process is sometimes painful, but for the most part, when you have the right person leading you, it's actually pretty simple and can be a joyous occasion instead of a stressful one.
Yeah, there are some basic things that hardly ever change, right? So you have the process of make sure you get pre-qualified.
Correct.
Right? So we know exactly how much you can afford. And then tell us what area you want to live in.
Right.
And then what things you're looking for. Do you want a 3-bedroom, a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, a garage? Do you want a pool? So those are the basic things, but those are the simple parts, right?
Right.
But then it's the other things that can change. Like just a year ago, I mean, things were so crazy that you had to walk the person through the process of, okay, if we're going to make an offer, we need to get in there quick, and making an offer below what they're asking is not going to be possible.
Right. Yeah. If you offer below list.
Yes, but now it's completely different because now we have time. Now that there are a little bit more properties that are available, and people aren't like overbidding, and we can now do inspections. So those are the things that we definitely have to teach.
Yeah, and that's something that the expectation has to be set when a buyer's looking to purchase a home, knowing what kind of market we're in, knowing what those offers are going to have to look like. That expectation has to be set before you even go out and look at homes.
That's right.
Because, I had a client a couple years ago who, in that crazy market where everything has to go over list, you have to waive appraisals. We were in a home, there was a home that she really liked, and we had the conversation of what she was going to have to do. And she said she refused to waive any kind of appraisal gap, and she wouldn't go over list. And I was like, well, we're going to have to wait.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen for you right now unless we change those expectations. And she appreciated the fact that I was honest with her. She still wanted to go look. But before we went and looked at any house, I had to remind her, there are offers out there.
Yes.
They're over list, and there's an appraisal waiver. You need to put that in your arsenal. And if you're not willing to, we're not going to have a lot of luck.
Yeah, I wonder how did you deal with that? I mean, because that's basically, and not to say that our clients are a waste of time, but it is a waste of time because you're going out to look at a house, possibly even put in an offer that is not going to be accepted. I mean, how do you deal with that?
So, again, it's education. It can be frustrating at times, but you still have to. I'm there to represent my client.
Yes.
And if they want to submit the offers, if they are prepared for the potential rejection, then I'm going to allow them to feel that rejection.
Yeah, 3 times. Usually the average, right?
3 times before they decide whether or not they're going to change what they're going to do with their offers. If they're going to follow my lead or if they're going to hold off. And again, I'll have that conversation with them. And I think that's an issue with some agents out there, or not necessarily an issue with some agents. It's not being afraid to have the difficult conversations.
Yeah, that's right.
Again, we're supposed to educate, we're supposed to teach, we're supposed to guide them. We're not supposed to follow our clients. We're supposed to lead them and show them what the right path is, which is great in a market like today because now we get to tell them some good news.
Yes.
Hey, guess what? The seller's going to pay for your closing costs.
right.
Or, hey, that repair that you weren't going to get 2 years ago? They're getting it done now.
Exactly.
But it's the same thing. You still have to educate them on it. And now in this market, what I'm educating them on is that there's still the possibility of making an offer over list price. It's teaching them that by doing that, as long as the appraisal is going to come in, we can get more concessions out of the seller, which means they'll still be able to put some money in their pocket and they'll be able to have a lower monthly payment when they purchase.
That's right.
And that's another thing that a lot of them don't understand is that, and we'll use nice round numbers, a $350,000 house. If you offer $375,000, but you get all your closing costs and you get rate buy down taken care of, that $375,000 monthly payment is actually less than the $350,000 one. And so that's part of the education process. So in this market, it's actually working a lot better to do those kinds of things. But again, having difficult conversations because they pop up all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there an example of something that you think agents should teach a first-time home buyer that maybe isn't being taught right now or maybe is missed often?
That the type of loan that they're going to get, everybody's like, oh, FHA is bad or VA is bad. The type of the loan isn't really that big of a deal. It shouldn't mean anything to the seller. I mean, yes, if the home isn't in great shape, but I guess I should backtrack that up a little bit. The only difference between the loans for the seller are the requirements needed in the home. For example, if it's a VA and there's water stains, termites, different things like that in the house, it's not going to pass an appraisal. It won't get through underwriting. So if your house is in good shape, if the house is in good shape and it doesn't have anything that stands out that's going to jeopardize the appraisal process or underwriting, it doesn't matter what kind of loan it is. The seller's getting their money one way or the other. Sometimes for a buyer, they think that conventional might be the best way to go, but FHA might be because it's a lower interest rate. And they don't have as large a down, so they're still going to have to pay the mortgage property insurance. So I think that needs to be taught. The difference between the loans isn't the biggest thing. And the one thing that doesn't matter, and I've preached this to everybody, his interest rates.
Yeah.
Those don't matter. Whatever the interest rate is currently, that doesn't stick with you. The monthly payment does.
Yes.
So if
that's
the
it.
monthly payment's comfortable, doesn't matter what the interest rate is. And I like to compare it with buyers. I tell them, I say, what's the interest rate on your car? Does anybody know that?
No.
No, they heard what the monthly payment was and they were happy with it. So it's the same thing with home buyers. I think that needs to be taught more realistically is don't worry about what the interest rate is coming in at. Just focus on your monthly payment.
Yeah, and then on the other
Right.
side of that, of course, you should be working with the seller's agent. So if they do accept a VA loan, they understand that there's a water stain in the ceiling, so we need to get that fixed.
Yeah, it needs to be painted over. It needs to not be visible.
Yeah.
But yeah, the communication with the seller's agent is key. I mean, that's one of the reasons why getting first-time home buyers for myself was so, for me, fun. I mean, I loved going up against other offers with a first-time home buyer, and it was a competitive offer, but it might not have been the best. But it's the relationship with the cross agent that really can set you apart as an agent.
Yeah. So what are you, Adam, what are you doing to get the business right now?
Open houses. Open houses,
Really?
social media posts. Oh, if my office, since it's mobile, I'll make it an open house every day of the week. I don't go into my office, sit down at a desk, and expect people to walk in and go, "Hey, can you help me buy a house?"
Yeah.
But if I'm sitting at an open house, people are doing exactly that. I can still work. I can still be on the phone. I can still do my social media posts. I can still reach out to clients that I currently have, do home searches, schedule appointments. But I actually have people coming to me. They're following my signs and saying, "Yeah, I saw the signs. I wanted to come in." Great. Now what do I get to do? I get to have a conversation.
Yeah.
So open houses, I mean, I think they're a lost art. Very few people will brave it, and especially here in Arizona, we are coming up on, our scorching summer.
Yep.
That's my favorite time to do open houses. The buyers that are out there, the people that are going to open houses and getting out of their car in 110-degree heat, guess what they are?
They are serious.
They are serious
Yeah.
buyers. And they're probably coming to that open house because their agent's taking the summer off because they don't want to leave the AC.
Yep.
Joey, tell him your trick about
Yeah. So if
open
I'm
houses
doing
when it's hot.
if I'm doing an open house when it's scorching hot like that, I bring ice cream. Little pints of even the smaller ones.
Oh, yeah.
So I give those to them so that way they have to go home and not go to anyone else's. Otherwise, it's going to melt.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. I like that. Or they stay long enough, they just
Or
eat it
they
in the
stay-
house.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, one or
He
the
doesn't
other.
give them spoons.
No spoons.
Oh, no spoons? Give them a spoon when they agree to get pre-qualified,
That's
right?
So, Adam, are you seeing people that come into the open houses? Are you seeing a good percentage of them that are not working with an agent at that point?
During the first conversation in the house, I assume that anybody that walks in is not working with an agent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will ask the question. I had one actually this last weekend. They came into one of my open houses that I was doing. And the first thing out of his mouth, he's like, "Hey, my agent's in Apache Junction." I'm like, "Okay, great. Take a look around. Let's talk afterwards." Yeah, comes to find out he knows an agent in Apache Junction, but he's not working with them.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I had the conversation and I just let him know. One of the things as a buyer, there are agents out there that will make you sign a buyer broker agreement. But as a buyer, the relationship you have with your agent should not just be a 30 or 45-day relationship.
That's right.
It shouldn't just be, "Hey, it's nice to meet you. Let me help you find a house. Okay, great. We go through the process. Here's the keys. Bye. I'll never talk to you again." It should be an ongoing relationship. When you have a favorite dentist or a favorite doctor or a favorite mechanic, you don't just go
Does
to
anybody have a favorite dentist?
I don't know why dentist was the first thing that came to my mind, but I think partially because you only see him once every 6 months.
Yeah, that's right.
There we go.
But you don't change your dentist once you have a dentist that you go
Sure.
to. If you have, I don't have this problem, but when you have a favorite hairdresser, you make your appointment with that hairdresser over and over again. The real estate agent and client relationship should be the same.
Yeah.
I have a client who, before we started the podcast today, he texted me this morning. I closed him 2 years ago. He's actually one of my favorite real estate stories too. If you don't mind, I can.
Let's share.
So
Yeah,
this was
absolutely.
back in the height of the market, and they were an FHA buyer. first time. They actually had some money in reserves to put down or waive an appraisal at least a little bit. And I had that conversation with them. So we're in Chandler, obviously one of the hottest markets 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And the house was listed around $385. And I ran my numbers, I ran my comps, had a really good conversation with the listing agent while we were because they were doing an open house, meeting anybody and everybody, the flocks of people that were going into these things. Had a really good conversation with the listing agent. And we submitted our offer. I ran some comps. And I was like, you know what? I really think this is going to appraise closer to 405. So I told my client, let's go ahead and write it at 410. Well, let's waive the appraisal by 10,000. They had extra reserves in front of that. And we got our offer accepted as an FHA. Well, that wasn't the end of it. Then we did the inspection. The pool was shot. I mean, it needed $10,000, $12,000 of work, and the roof was shot. We got the seller to fix both.
Wow.
About $20,000 worth of repairs in a market where asking for repairs was unheard of. But anyway, I got them under contract, got them closed. They are ecstatic. They're happy. They reach out to me on a regular basis. I reach out to them. As a matter of fact, he texted me this morning because I know that they're looking to potentially purchase an investment property at some point as a second home.
Yeah.
And he just said, hey, it's been about a month. Can we talk later today? So, like I said, that relationship has to be ongoing. It can't be, here's your keys, never going to see you again. No, you got to stay. You got to stay in front of them, and building the relationship from the beginning allows you to do that with more ease.
Yeah. So what are you doing to stay in front of them? Well, what are some things that you recommend agents do to make sure that they are top of mind when it comes to
Find a couple of
purchase?
Find a couple of good partners. So, like you said, it's Sarah and Alex that got me in here today. I can reach out to them at any time, and they will have marketing material, our ideas for social media posts, something for pop buys, mail, letters, gifts. I have some of my VIP clients. I like to do. My girls like to bake, and so during the holidays, I'll have them just bake an assortment of everything. And I tell them that they're doing it for my clients, because if it wasn't for my clients choosing me and letting me represent them, we wouldn't have the Christmases and the Easters and the birthdays. So this is more, and I tell my clients, this is my girls telling you thank you for allowing us, and I'll go hand deliver them. And then, I think just being in front of them, I'm friends with a lot of my clients on social media, Facebook, Instagram, random texts just to say hi. I'm trying to accumulate all of my clients' birthdays. So I'm reaching out to some of the lenders that I've used, and I actually have a couple of lenders that actually shoot me emails. Hey, it's so-and-so's birthday today. So that's another way, because then I can do a digital birthday card.
Yep.
And I've subscribed to a website that actually uses celebrities like Shaquille O'Neal, Kevin Nealon, Alicia Keys. They do personalized birthday cards and song or greeting, and they're fun.
That's cool.
And so I can email and text those to the clients again just to wish them a happy birthday. So, I mean, it doesn't take a lot of effort to do it. It just takes effort.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, you could send them a video text too,
I can.
saying happy birthday.
Yeah, absolutely. I do like the thing of when they open up, and you got I did it to one of my clients who has a very silly sense of humor. I sent them a Weird Al Yankovic one. And I got a phone call, a text, just laughing and saying, oh my gosh, that is incredible. I think them seeing something like that stays a little bit more in front of them than my mug.
So tell me about, you mentioned before we started that you also did an educational video series.
Yes.
So what did that all entail? How did you get it out to people? Where did you post it? Those types of things.
So I decided that with the market, when the market was shifting, this was towards the end of last year, more to a balanced market, I thought, I need to get myself on social media. There aren't as many buyers out there. There aren't as many sellers wanting to sell right now. So I need to put myself out there so when the market does start to shift and people become more active, my face, my name is out there. People know who it is. So I decided to do to hold myself accountable. I posted that I was going to be starting a video series, and I posted the date that it was going to start. So it ended up being a 13-part series where it was essentially the entire home buying process. Every single day that I posted a video, it was one part of the process, starting from meeting the realtor all the way to closing. And it had every step in between on videos. And I started a YouTube channel, posted it to Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter. I'm drawing a blank on anymore.
LinkedIn.
Yeah, LinkedIn, Redfin, or not Redfin. What's the Reddit?
Reddit.
Yeah, and basically just
TikTok.
What's that?
He mentioned.
I did. I mentioned TikTok.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so every day was a different video. And then once I was done with that series, I started posting more videos. But it was just a straight up home buying process 101 is basically what it was. Introduced myself, went through each thing. They were shorter videos. They were only about 1.5 to 2.5 minutes long. Mm-hmm. And it was just me talking in different locations. Almost every one of them was done outside because December in Arizona is gorgeous.
Yes, it is.
So it was all done outside, whether I was walking around or sitting on a patio table or if I was at an open house.
What was that? 13 days in a row?
13 days. 13 days in a row. Yes, because I did not stop on the weekends.
Got it.
So, and then just posted them all up, and then started passing out and started telling everybody that, hey, check out my YouTube channel. And any of the clients that I met at that point, if they came through an open house or if I had met them through a lead gen source, when I met with them, I just, hey, you know what? I'm going to go through the entire process with you, but while we're going through it, if you forget anything, just pop onto my YouTube channel and you can pick which day you need to look at.
Yeah, I remember when workshops used to be a thing.
Yes.
Right? Because I know I did them before. I know Jeff did them before, where you just have a first-time home buyers workshop. I wonder if that's still a thing.
I think it can be.
Maybe via Zoom. I don't know.
I think the best way to do it would be to do it at a happy hour.
Well, yeah.
You get yourself.
Would they pay attention though?
Oh yeah,
IPAs in their hands.
Well, I mean, yeah, I think if they're going to show up and they're going to spend an hour and a half.
Yeah, that's true.
And again, and I'm providing, or myself and one of my lenders or my title company is providing the food, the beverages.
Yeah.
The workshop doesn't have to be like a lecture.
That's true.
It doesn't have to be me standing up there and just droning on and on about this. It can actually be interactive. Break it into smaller groups where, the title process has gone over with the title rep at one of the tables, while at another table, the lender's talking to them about the loan process. And we can actually be interactive and walking around and keeping them engaged.
That's a good idea.
I think Zoom, everybody's so used to Zoom. I think everybody's getting tired of Zoom.
Yeah.
Because when you Zoom, you zone out.
It's true.
You kind of get that glossy look over in your eyes after about 20 minutes, and you're just kind of like, okay, how can I make it look like I'm paying attention when I'm really not? I'm a face-to-face person. I don't cold call either. So that leads into that. I don't cold call. I cold knock. I'll walk neighborhoods and I will knock on doors.
For open houses.
For open houses, for marketing material, for market updates. Doesn't matter to me.
Okay.
Introduce myself. I've done it in my own neighborhood. Because in today's society, if your phone rings and you don't know that number, you're not answering it. And you're not checking your voicemail afterwards either.
Yeah.
But if somebody knocks on your door, man, you're curious because nobody does that anymore. If somebody's showing up to your house, they are. So if somebody knocks, you're like, wait, what's going on?
But there are times, I admit this, when someone's knocking on my door, I'm like, okay, I don't know who's supposed to be here. No one texted me. No one let me know. And it's probably the Amazon guy. If it's not, I'm not answering it.
And that's fine. I still leave something behind that's tangible.
Yeah.
My face, my name, marketing material is on something that goes in their door, on their doorknob. And if they don't want to be bothered, they don't have to. But I don't just go once. I'll pick a neighborhood and I'll hit it 5, 6, 7 times in a 3-month period. Because, again, if I go out there and they hear the door knock, or if they're not home, they pull that tangible material, it's probably going in the trash. Well, the second time I do it, if I've got something else or something similar, and they don't answer and they put it there, they're going, okay, this guy, he's been here.
Give us an example of, okay, you knock on the door and you I'm sure you have some type of campaign or whatever you're going to say. How's that conversation go?
So the most popular one that I do is for open houses. Okay. If I land an open house in a neighborhood, I'll go out the Tuesday before the open house, and we'll just assume that the open house is on a Saturday. And I'll knock on the doors and I'll just say, hey, just wanted to let you know, we're having an open house. If you have any friends or family that have talked about moving to Arizona, how would you like to pick your next neighbor?
Yeah, that's good. Simple.
Swing by, come say hi. I'll go back on Thursday and I'll remind them that there's an open house. And just to remember, if you see extra cars parked on the street, that's why they'll be coming and going. So the traffic will be there. But hey, I love a nosy neighbor. Come by, say hi, take a look, see what your neighbor's done to the place.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, that's too easy. You know, the first thing out of my mouth, don't worry, I'm not selling you anything. I just want you to know I'll be here this time, and this is why. Once the open house is done, whether it was successful or not, I mean, if it was dead, okay, but I can still go back to that same neighborhood afterwards and talk to those same neighbors, whether they stopped by or whether they didn't, and just let them know, hey, just want to let you know, we had a lot of activity, so, you know, you could be seeing a new neighbor in the next month or so. If you know of anybody else in the neighborhood that's thinking about selling, or if you have anybody that's looking to move to the area, please remember to use my name. But once you've been in front of them 2 or 3 times, or once you've been to the house a third time, now most people have their Ring cameras, their Vivint. If they see you coming to the door, they're going to, I know him.
Yeah.
And maybe they'll answer it this time with a little bit more friendly approach.
Makes sense. So, and then also just if you don't have your own listing, I'm sure you just go to people in your office or something, or just here and say, hey, can I do an open house for you?
Yeah, if I don't have an active listing, or if all of my listings are owner occupied and they don't want to do open houses, which I kind of set that expectation up with my sellers as well, that we need to do at least one.
Yeah.
Whether you live here or not. Can you guys get out of the house for a day? Here's a gift card. Go have fun. But yeah, if I don't have my own listing, I'll call anybody. I'll start within my own office and branch out from there. If it's vacant, let me hold it open.
Yep. No, that's good.
Oh, that's great. That's probably the easiest door knock, I think, too. Yeah.
It is.
It is. It is the easiest door knock.
I mean, because it's a, yeah, absolutely.
The market update's a good one too, where you can go out once a month and just say, here's how many houses in this zip code are on the market. Here's how many were sold last month. Here's the average median price, and here's the list to sell ratio. So if you've thought about it, or if you are going to be thinking about it, this is what you can expect. And you can go every single month, because then they're going to see a pattern themselves. And now you're educating them without even, you're educating them indirectly. They don't realize that they're being educated, but in 3, 4, 5 months, if they start thinking about selling, then they're going, wait a minute, this is what the market's been doing, and this guy knows what he's talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got it. So I'm curious, what's one thing that's made the biggest impact in your business in the past 4 years?
One thing, staying. You know what? I know exactly what it is. Separating myself from every other agent in the East Valley by putting myself into the markets that were not as popular to go to 2-3 years ago. So while everybody, I mean, I go where my clients want to go, but I put a lot of my focus into Pinal County about 2 years ago because everybody was focused on Maricopa County. Oh, it's Tempe, it's Chandler, it's Gilbert, it's Queen Creek. Okay. For me, it was Maricopa, Casa Grande, Santan, hitting the areas where the homes were a lot more affordable. A lot of the buyers were coming from out of state, and California being one of those places. To them, a 30-minute commute is nothing. So I put my focus down there. And while everybody else was submitting multiple offers on multiple homes in Chandler and Gilbert and Queen Creek and winning 1 out of every 10 or 12, I was down in Casa Grande where houses were sitting for a very long time, like 3 days. But I was getting in there and we were making competitive offers, and that actually got me very well known out in that area, and it set me up to where I am now. I have 3 listings currently in Casa Grande. I have 1 in Maricopa. I have active buyers looking still in those areas, but the homes are still affordable, and the sellers down there are much more willing, because of the amount of equity they've built just in the last 2 years, like the insane amount of equity they've built in the last 2 years, to offer some of those concessions more willingly to those buyers, because they still know that if they sell and they give $10,000 in concessions, they're still walking away in a great spot. So I think that's the one thing. When I saw what the market was doing, and I said, I don't want to be in the rat race up in Chandler and Gilbert. I mean, I will, and I still was. I mean, I had clients that were still looking in those areas, but I would say about 75% of my focus shifted to Pinal County, and that really got me just going.
Yeah, that's smart. Smart.
That's great. That's great. Any last things you want to share with the agents before we move on?
Just, you got to stay true to yourself. You know, if you want to be in a specific market, if you want to be in a specific niche, focus on it, you know, but make sure that you're honest, available, and clear with your clients. That to me is, you know, everybody, I've talked to some agents, and I'm sure you guys have too, where there's disrespect from one brokerage to another.
Yes.
But we're all on the same team, no matter what brokerage we're with.
Yeah.
The goal is to get your client and my client to the finish line.
That's right.
So I believe in building relationships with realtors, not tearing them down, because I might do a deal with you now, and if it goes smooth, you're going to remember that the next time we cross paths.
Yeah.
And you're going to be like, oh man, I remember working with this agent. She was awesome. He was awesome. I'm going to make sure that I pass that on to my client too. Hey, it might not be the perfect offer, but I will tell you that this agent knows their stuff, and they're going to make it seamless and easy as possible for us. So build the relationships up and stay true to yourself.
Awesome. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to move on.
There you go.
I want a big shout out to Security Title Agency and Fidelity National Home Warranty for sponsoring the show. Make sure to give them a shot for sure. All right, Adam, you ready?
I'm ready.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, let's do this. Pizza or cheeseburgers?
Pizza.
That was quick.
Hey, I was
Favorite
told it was
activity?
rapid fire.
Yeah. Favorite activity outside of work?
Anything sports related.
Favorite sport?
Favorite sport?
Yes.
Nice.
I will watch them all. I played baseball for 30 years.
Okay. All right.
30 years?
Yeah.
so long.
I started when I was 3. I hung them up in my young 30s because of, injuries and age.
So did you play college and then
Played college,
Semi-pro?
played semi-pro, became a player manager for a few years up in Portland.
Oh, very nice.
awesome?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. How about a favorite superhero?
Favorite superhero? I'm going to have to go with, just because of the comedy behind it, Thor. He's
Oh,
amazing.
yeah. That is a good
Yeah,
one.
there we go.
I don't think anyone
Thor.
said that yet, even though he is really popular.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think he's a favorite though. I mean, but the movies themselves, the way
Yeah.
that they made him go through real life
Yes.
stuff where
Yeah,
he's a
for
god
sure.
and he's fat and overweight and depressed.
That was
we can
actually
all
really good.
we can all relate to that on some level.
That's right.
Yeah. I got one more for you, and this is beer related.
Okay.
Ooh.
Do you prefer bottle, can, or draft?
Draft.
And why?
Yes.
What's that?
Draft. Keep the cans away unless I'm camping, because that's when you take the light beer,
That's
and,
right.
and it'll actually stay colder if you're in the river, and they don't break like the glass will.
An expert.
If I'm drinking it, if I've got the beer at home, and it's my IPA 6-pack that I'm going to enjoy over the course of a few days, bottles, crisper taste. But no, if I go to a restaurant or a bar, it has to be draft. I don't care if it's the worst IPA on tap. It's better than anything in the can or the bottle at that point.
All right. All right. Well, Adam, thanks so much for being in here, man.
Hey, I appreciate you guys having me.
It's awesome.
Absolutely. Great information. And we'll get this out so the agents can take all your tips and go out there and make money.
That's what we want to see. They
what
can
it's
come
about, right?
Yeah, that's right.
All right, agents. Until next time, we will see you later. Adios.
Adios.
All right.
Good job.
Good job.